Adventure of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Boo Boo, you got to be quiet, dude. You want him in there?
That's the drummer.
So whenever you guys want to go.
All right, I can edit, so don't worry about it. What do you need, Joe?
Oh, shit!
She's in the
You want
kitchen.
some glasses?
No, thank you.
These are too cool.
Hi, Boo.
I got some crazy pills.
Oh, thanks.
Well, what the last card is the glasses. Let
I'm
me
in-
make sure you guys okay?
Going, Chris.
Ready?
Now we're ready. Hey, Holmes, what's up? All right. Hey, Holmes.
I just woke up.
All right.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Josey Scott and Tommy Skeoch and Chris Holmes and Brian We are Terminal, and we're working on a brand new record for you guys. Come check us out on the road. We will see you guys very, very soon. Much love.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman, W4CY Radio, and I'm very excited because we have a new band with some new music coming out, and man, I can't wait. So let's welcome to the show, Josey and Brian. How are you?
Hey, man.
Good,
How are you?
I'm doing great, and I was really excited when I saw the press release for this because I was just doing coverage at Hell's Heroes a couple weeks ago, and I saw my old friend who I haven't seen in over 40 years, Chris Holmes. Back in the Hollywood days, we would hang out at the mall together, and so it was really cool. Like right after I got back, I saw this press release that you guys are all forming this new band, Terminal, and man, that's so exciting. I want to know the story of how this happened.
Well, how it happened was it started when I ran into Chris. I met Chris a long time ago when he was in W.A.S.P. and Tessa played L.A., I think the first time with Def Leppard. And Chris came to the show. And I don't remember much about seeing him or whatever. He was, in his full Chris Holmes back then. And fast forward to about 3 years ago, 3 years ago, his documentary came out on Amazon, Mean Man. And a friend of mine called me and said, hey, you got to watch this. And I said, what is it? And he says, it's the guy from W.A.S.P. And I thought it was about Blackie. And he went, no, it's the guitar player, Chris Holmes. I said, oh, I met that guy. And I had ran into him. Frank had ran into him when we played Hellfest in France a couple years ago. But I saw you there.
I saw you there, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't talk to Chris that day, but Frank did. So I went to this Monsters of Rock cruise that Tessa plays on, and Chris was playing on it. And the first year I was supposed to see him, he had got the throat cancer, so he canceled.
Yeah.
The next year I was on there selling my art, but I wasn't playing, and he was playing. So I went up to his wife or him, whoever it was him and Sarah, but I didn't know who it was. And I said, hey, I'm Brian from Tessa. I'd like to say hello to Chris. And he came over and we started talking, and I said, cool. I saw your thing. I just wanted to say hi. And, I remember meeting you. And he's like, cool. So then we got on the boat the next day, and he's like, hey, dude, I ran into him. Let's have lunch together. They got tacos. I can't get tacos in France. I mean, you know how Chris is, right? Chris is a large personality. And I said, great. So we're sitting there in the buffet and he's eating tacos and we're talking about just life and being in a band and, this, that, and the other. And after I was listening to him for a while and I said, Chris, I got a question for you. All these years you were in W.A.S.P, you're a famous guy. I mean, to me, he's like the Keith Richards of heavy metal.
That's a great description.
And how come you never joined another band or, started another band or got it? He said, well, no one ever wanted to be in a band with me. And I said, wow, okay, well, I'll be in a band with you.
Nice.
And he said, okay. So he lives in France and I live in New York, upstate New York. And I also have a place in Italy, which is close to his place in France. I said, listen, I'm being in Italy next month. Why don't you come up to my farm and we'll see if we can put some songs together. Because, it's one thing to say you can be in a band together. Or let's make a band. And that worked great. We wrote like 3 songs and we hit it off. And, I love the guy. I have like instant kinship with the guy. So when that happened and I decided that me and Chris were going to do something together, then it's like, well, okay, if we're going to have a band, we got to have a singer and another guitar player and a drummer. So I said, hey, who would be a great second guitarist, another guitarist, is my old friend Tommy Skeoch, who was in Tesla. Me and him have reconnected, and I love him and I miss working with him. And what do you think about that? He said, well, okay, that'd be cool. I mean, if we can get along. So then me and Tommy got together, right? And we hadn't written songs since we had written songs in Tesla, but that was like riding a bike. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
We ain't missed a step. So me and him were fine. And then I said, Tom, would you be into playing with me and Chris? And he said, yeah, sure. So then I had to get those 2 together. And then the 3 of us got together and we put together a bunch of music. And once I knew Tom and Chris got along and me and Tom and Chris, and it's like, okay, I know the perfect singer for this band. And the perfect singer was Josey, right? Who I'd met when Your Disease came out. And I was listening to that on the radio, and Tesla had just gotten back together after being apart for 5 years. And I went up to his tour manager and said, hey, I'd like to meet the guys in that band. I really like that song. And he took me in the dressing room, and Josey was there, and he's like, hey, man, how you doing? Yeah, Brian, I saw you at Mud Island when I was a kid. And I loved Josey from that day. He was just the most nicest, sweetest, coolest guy. And I loved like his look and all the tattoos and the bling and all that stuff, right? I'm like, hey, man, what's with all that stuff? And he's like, hey, man, I'm from Memphis, man. Elvis Presley's the king. So then I called Josey and said, hey, Josey, I'm putting together the band with Tommy Skeoch and Chris Holmes. Would you be interested? And he said, well, yeah, I would. I said, well, let me send you some music, because for all he knew, it could have been terrible. And I sent him some, and he said, yeah, I can dig this. I said, well, cool. So then it was getting, Josey, he came and worked with me for a couple of days, and we put together some songs on those songs, right? Then those guys heard it, Tommy and Chris, and they were like, fuck, he's amazing. This is perfect. So then it was like, okay, Josey, come, let's see if all 4 of us can get together and dig each other. And we did, and that's it, man. That's the story of how we got together.
That is key, that you have to get along. And I was watching the video of your, introducing the band. And I was like, yeah, that's so Chris. He was like making fun of with the sunglasses and stuff. And it was like, you could see the camaraderie there. And that is so key in any band for sure, as you guys well know, so that's way cool. And then when I saw him a couple weeks ago, I'm like, hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, I'm old now. I can't do what I used to, like he used to back in the day. He would run full speed into his Marshall stack and knock it all over while he's in the middle of a solo. And I watched him play. I'm like, holy shit, he still is like, oh my God. He was all over the place. He was saying
he's a fireball.
Yeah, he was making to me like before the gig, I'm lucky if I could walk up to the stage at this age. But then he was just like, as soon as this show started, he was everywhere. It was flashbacks of the early 80s for sure. So now combining all of you together in one band, oh my God, like that's like, I don't know, that's going to be the firestorm of 2026, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope so.
There you go. There you go. So when can we see some of this new music?
Well, right now we're in the writing process. Josey's just now getting ready to go out and play some Saliva dates. Or that's right. He can't call it Saliva, right? No, but he is Saliva.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, click, click, boom, your disease, always, superstar, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all Josey Scott songs from the band he started in his garage. So
100%. 100%.
yeah, but anyways, go see Josey Scott, the man who started Saliva, created it. Him and Wayne. Wayne's no longer with us, but Josey's out there and singing the songs better than he's ever sang them. So he's doing that. I've got some work with Tesla. Obviously, I got this Tesla Motley Crue tour this summer.
Yeah.
Chris is taking care of some personal issues in Paris. But, we're getting together again in a couple weeks, me, Tommy, and Josey. So it's kind of an ongoing process. I would say realistically, by the end of the year, we should have a single out.
I was going to say by Christmas.
What we're going to do. I mean, people are calling me. Someone called me yesterday. Said, "Hey, when can Terminal come and play?" And soon.
I love it.
Yeah, but right now, we got things we're doing. So, it's the beauty of this thing is that we all of us have other things that we do, but we connect in the Terminal, and the Terminal is me, Josey, Tommy, and Chris. We get together, and that's where the magic happens.
So how would, for the listeners, how would you describe how Terminal music is going to be? Because, all three great bands, W.A.S.P, Tesla, Saliva, but very different too in a lot of ways, similar in a lot of ways, but very different. So how are all those influences? What is that going to create?
Josey?
You'd be surprised how well we have gelled together in the studio. I think the natural Tesla sound that Brian and Tommy have lends itself perfectly to what Chris does with his, sexy 80s go-go dancer type guitar riffs. And then, I just come in and lay down, what I like Brian says, this is what I do. You know what I mean? This is all I know how to do, is come in and sing my heart. You know what I mean? Write about whatever's going on around us. I've written some songs about the different characters that I'm in a band with in Terminal, and I've written some things about life and about heartbreak. God knows we've all been through enough heartbreak for 10 albums and 10 lifetimes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just something, because like the end of the day, you can want to be in a band all you want to, and it not gel or not come together, and this is surprisingly just really gelled and come together perfectly in this pot of stew that we're making that's Terminal. I think people are going to be really surprised.
I mean,
I don't want to give it away. There's more I'd like to say on it, but I would want you to hear it first.
Let me elaborate a little bit on that. the funny thing is you say, you know, I'll tell you what it doesn't sound like. It doesn't sound like Tesla. It doesn't sound like W.A.S.P. And Josey, like any band, right? Like the voice of Tesla is Jeff Keith. The voice of Saliva is Josey Scott, right? The voice of W.A.S.P. was Blackie. It doesn't sound like Tesla or W.A.S.P. And it doesn't sound like Saliva outside of its Josey singing.
Yeah.
So I will say it's got a modern rock sound to it, right? We don't want to give too much away, like Josey says, but if you're expecting to hear like, you know, oh, that reminds me of Tesla, it doesn't have that sound.
I'm glad about that because it should sound
there's
different.
already a Tesla.
Right, exactly.
Right, and there's already a W.A.S.P. There's already Josey Scott, Saliva, right? But what this is all those guys coming together with everything they know and everything they grew up and everything they were inspired by and putting it together. And that's why it's called Terminal, you know, because what happens in a terminal?
Yeah.
Right, an airport terminal. You got people coming and going from all different places all over the world. And they all meet at the terminal to go somewhere else on a journey. And this is a journey. I scratch in my arm because I'm not a junkie. I have the terminal tattoo, and it's
oh really,
motherfucker.
Oh, I can't see it here. Is it
there
on
it
your?
Is.
Nice.
Right there, and it's itching. So I don't want you to think I'm like, oh, hey man, right? And you got it in back of you. I see that. Nice move.
There you go.
I got mine too. Mine's itching. Mine's itching a little bit too.
Yeah, there's Josey.
It's got an itch on the neck like that, right?
Ooh,
Does that itch like a
on his back, and I don't think he can reach it. And Tommy's is on his hand right here. But you know, I think people are going to be surprised because I don't think it's going to be what, you know, on paper it always appears to be one thing, right? You put a list on paper and you go, okay. But this is it's different because, like I said, it's not what you would expect.
Right. And that's why I said what I did too about coming from the different bands, because it's not like you had 3 of the exact same type of band coming together, you know?
Right. No. And even in Tesla, me and Tommy were both from different places. Like Tommy had the real heavy, you know, stuff, and I would write, you know, the more pop song, like Call It What You Want or Paradise or, you know, something like that, where he would write Heaven's Trail or something. So that was a combination. So you take that element of Tom, he's into newer heavy music, and I listen to, you know, Miley Cyrus. I listen to, you know, pop music. I listen to the beat. I come from all, you know what I mean? So we just take all these influences, and no one's got any egos or there's no bullshit like that to deal with. And we all contribute, and we try to make the best song, because Josey will tell you, what about songs, Josey?
The song is the king.
That's it. So it's about the songs, but you will hear this guitar army of Tommy Skeoch and Chris Holmes. That's there, man. And they work so well together. And you want to hear Josey Scott, you're going to hear Josey Scott as you want to hear Josey Scott, right? And, you know, I do what I do, man. I'm that guy that plays that bass thing.
And he's a monster bass player in the studio.
No, stop it. I only know 4 notes, but I play the fuck out of them 4
notes. Come on, all these years you must have learned
I know 5.
The 5th note, right?
4, 5. You know, I never play the high string. It's a waste.
Well, I do have to say that I'm gonna pick a bone. She'll listen as a laugh, but I'm gonna pick a bone with Shauna because she should have in the press release called you guys a super group, because like there's all these bands coming out that are super groups. I'm like, yeah, that's not a super group. Yeah, but then I see you guys and I'm like, that's a super group.
That's for someone like you to say.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
If we said that, people would think we're arrogant. And that was
for
never
sure
the case. It wasn't like, hey, I want to make a super group. it happened for me. I mean, I guess I'm the catalyst because I ran into Chris, and then I just thought, well, I play in this great band, Tesla. I mean, listen, we've done okay.
A
And
little
they're
bit.
and those are my brothers, right? But then I have my other friends that are my brothers and that I see and I talk to when I'm not in Tesla. So for me that was the thing. It's like I I told Josey, like, I always envisioned doing something with him from the day I met him. Like, we just connected. Like, we've stayed in touch for 20 years. And, you know, even though he was off doing something or I was off and he got on the trip over here, and we always managed to always connect every once in a while. Hey, man, how you doing? How's it going? Hey, man, hey, I wish I'd seen you, man. Oh, I love that song. Hey, that was great. And with Tommy, we've had a bit of a rougher time because, listen, talk about heartbreak. I mean, I started in the garage with Frank and Tommy even before Jeff Keith. Oh no, Jeff Keith came, but truthfully, Tommy came before, but he wouldn't join us because we weren't cool enough. And then once we got Jeff, then finally he joined our band. But the four of us, in Tesla were always, the four of us, me, Frank, Tommy, and Jeff, were always on the same page. So when, Tom left and, it's been pretty documented what his issues were, out of, heartbreak and hurt and pride and ego and shit, we both kind of attacked each other. And, but once we ran into each other after 17 years, all that shit just melted away. And then it's like maybe there was 5% of bad shit, right? At that point, I just remembered all the 95% of good shit. And when I want to work with my brother again, I want to, he can't come back to Tesla right now, even though that's a whole nother topic that one day when Tesla does a final lap, I've said it, I'll say it again here. I want Tommy Skeoch back. I want Troy Luccketta back. I want Dave Rude there. Dave Rude's not going anywhere. We'll have 3 guitar players. I'm trying to put that all together. When there's one lap, I don't know when that one lap is. When it is, I'll let you know. But with Terminal, it's like these are all my buddies. You know what I mean? And
It's got to be exciting too.
Like in a band with people you like.
And it's got to be exciting and new and fresh. When you guys have been doing it as long as you've been doing it, sometimes you need that new freshness, like when you were teenagers first getting into music.
Yeah, it's totally been like that too. It's been, it reminds me of the whole reason I started doing this in the first place. And the best, most fun moments are always when the band first starts.
Yeah.
Before, not to speak of this band, but I can only speak from my experience with Saliva and my band before Saliva, Blackbone. Before lawyers get involved and managers get involved and all these different entities.
Fame and money and chicks and drugs. And then you become jaded. And, like with Tesla, we had to break up to find each other again.
Right.
I'm so glad we did because we're closer than we've ever been. So
that's killer.
Yeah. So I get it.
Yeah, I love that. And, like it is true because, back in the 80s, I remember watching what the Outsiders would do to all these LA bands. And like, it wasn't the band members that were like going to fall apart. It was those outside forces making the band members at war with each other.
Right.
So I love hearing how much you guys are just having fun, connected. That's the way music should be. And like, you can tell, like when you go to a show, you can tell if the band is up there, just dialing it in, or if they're truly like brothers and having fun.
Right.
Yeah. Josey reminds me a lot of Jeff Keith. Josey's from Memphis. Jeff Keith was from Oklahoma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the key word you just says like, LA and how they put all those bands together in LA and all the lawyers and sharks and record company people.
Oh my God.
this is organic,
Right.
Yeah.
right? And I think we all come from different backgrounds, and we can all connect, and on so many levels. It's kind of corny, but it's true. You know,
And Chris gets a bad rap because he's one of the nicest guys.
he's one
So
of the
sweet.
sweetest, kindest hearted, misunderstood. He reminds me of Yosemite Sam.
That's such a great description too.
If I'm
Oh my
Snappy
God.
Smith, Chris is Yosemite Sam.
Oh my God, that is the greatest description right there.
I love Chris. I just talked to him an hour ago. So
I love Chris too.
yeah, he
Sweetheart.
is misunderstood.
Oh, totally. And you know, like, I mean, I'm gonna say it, but that other dude that starts with B had an ego bigger than anybody, and I thought,
well, that seems to go around, right? I mean, you know, I mean, like I said, we can all relate to that. I think every one of us may have something like that. Somebody that, you know, is kind of little out of order in our world.
yeah.
You know, Josey, I'm sure he has one.
You know, pride goeth before the fall.
So
In life, you got to do the right thing, man. You got to do the right thing in life.
and that, I think that's how you last in the music business, to be honest, is like set aside all the bullshit. And like, to me, the true musicians that last, they're not out there to be rock stars. They're out there to be musicians. Big
100%.
difference.
Yeah.
Big difference.
And if you happen to be a rock star because people, you know, see you as a rock star, okay, great. But I mean, you know, for us, you got to be a good person.
Right.
Totally.
You know, and the guys in Terminal are all good guys. The guys in Tesla are all good guys. You know, I can't speak for Josey's previous band or whatever. There's the band that's out there now calling themselves Saliva.
I hate all that crap, by the way. Like, so many bands have done it. Like, even I interviewed the Grassroots, and none of them were the original members.
Well,
And I didn't know that till the interview, and I'm like,
I mean,
that's really weird.
You know, I don't want to get too far into this, but I will say that the fact that Josey Scott wrote all those songs that everyone knows and associates to Saliva, and he can't go out and play under the name Saliva because of some legal bullshit, and the guys that are out there calling themselves Saliva weren't even on any of those records, those first 6 platinum albums.
That's weird to me.
It is just it's sad.
Yeah.
It's a sad thing because, you know, it'd be like somebody trying to call themselves Tesla that wasn't in Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's all you have is the legacy you create for yourself. And, you know, you pour yourself into the heart and soul of your songs. And, you know, Josey did that. And whatever the case may be of that thing, I mean, I just think it's kind of sad that he can't go out and play under the name Saliva when he is the voice of Saliva, and he wrote Click, Click, Boom, always.
It's stupid.
Well, I'll let you say that.
Yeah, I'm gladly saying it. And I was just talking in the last interview, having nothing to do with this, but the fact of how, you know, how can an artist sing a song that isn't their emotions and what their thoughts and what they wrote?
Well, they do. They're called cover bands.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but you can't sing it. You can't sing it with the same heart.
Cover bands, I'm all for them. But if you're going to call yourself whatever band and you didn't write all those songs or create those records, then I you know, like John Lennon would say, how do you sleep?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and I just think you can't possibly have the same emotion singing the song. And I think emotion, when you sing a song, is what makes the song.
It's the whole thing. Yeah. 100%.
It's your feelings. How could you describe in your facial expressions, movements, or singing what somebody else is feeling. That's the way I look at it.
100%.
Yeah, I know. Well, listen, getting back to, Chris's former band and Josey's, I can't even say former band. I don't know how to say it, but it's complicated. But whatever's happening right now, it's just not right for I mean, at least in Chris's band, Blackie Lawless was the singer of W.A.S.P. Blackie
Yeah.
Lawless wrote all the lyrics.
Yeah.
In Josey's situation, there's nobody in that band is from Saliva. They might have
That's
been in an
weird to me.
incarnation, 15 years later. And if
Right.
Wayne was in that band, then I could see it. I could say, okay, I understand that.
It's
But,
kind of like when
I hope this doesn't piss off Bobby or whatever, but if it does, so fucking what? I don't care. I had a conversation with him and I said, listen, this isn't right. At this point, it's like, just, but it's a whole other thing. I'm sure, Blabbermouth will be all on this tomorrow.
they just might. They just might, because
And that's okay. I mean, listen, I'm only saying what's true.
it can't be much
I'm
worse.
not going to go out and say, hey, come and see me. I'm in Saliva. I wasn't in Saliva. I didn't play that. Right?
Well, I'm glad you're standing up for your bandmate
I'm
there.
standing by what I feel is right. Whether Josey was my friend or not, if I didn't know Josey, as a fan of Saliva, the band, and I will say this, and I don't care if it gets me in trouble because I don't give a fuck. As a fan of that band and Click Click Boom and Your Disease and Always and Ladies and Gentlemen and when Josey sang Hero with Chad and all that, if I was to go see that band now, it'd be like me. I won't go see Foreigner today.
Yeah, that's weird too.
There's no one in
That's
fucking
weird
Foreigner from
too.
Foreigner. I'll go see Lou Graham sing
Right?
those songs, but nobody in Foreigner is from Foreigner. Nobody. I don't think there's anybody from the Guess Who playing in the Guess Who.
I interviewed them too, and it's absolutely true.
He certainly wasn't in the fucking Guess Who. So
That's absolutely true.
And
And
listen,
then,
I don't want to, this is about Terminal. I don't want to get up on a soapbox, but it is an injustice.
Well, it is, and now we have a great justice with Terminal.
Absolutely.
Because
yeah.
Because you guys are acting like true bandmates, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, we
100%.
are. I mean, and we're writing some I think some really good music. And, Josey's singing his ass off, and he's throwing his A game out there lyrically. I mean, he blows me away. The guy comes in here and goes over in the corner over here right there, with his little earphones in his notepad, and an hour later he comes back with like this thing, and he's like, wow, dude, it's so inspiring. It's a lot of inspiration. We all inspire each other in the band, which is very cool.
100%.
I think that's amazing. That's the only way it should be. And that you inspire each other after all these years tells me how little ego gets in the way of this band.
Right.
There's no ego. What it's like, what are we going to be egoed out to each guy?
Exactly.
We've all had platinum records. We've all had sold out concerts. We all done the same thing. We relate to each other. What are we going to, hey man, my dick's bigger than yours. Who the fuck cares?
Yep. That's it. That's it.
There's no ego. No egos with any one of the five guys that are working in this room together.
And it's going to be a great album when it comes out. I'm so looking forward to this. You guys are going to kill it. And just because of the attitude, to me, I think that's part of the battle right there.
100%.
Thanks for having us, and thanks for allowing us to speak a little truth.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for you guys to hear it. I hope you like it. If you don't, there's nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean? And, But I hope you like it. We sure like it, and we've played it to some
And
people.
that's all
they
that
sure
counts.
Like it, so,
love
and
it.
we're, bottom line, we're having a good time with each other.
That's all that counts to me. If you're having a good time and you like the music, you're going to attract your tribe that will like it too.
And I
100%.
smell good, man, because Josey, he's got a whole collection of fragrances and shit, and he's been turning me on to it. And I'm man, Josey's a slick dude, man. Look at it, man. I love it, man. He's all styled up and shit. I'm in my hockey jersey. I love Josey. I love his whole energy. Man, he wore some badass Argyle socks the other day. I'm gonna have to up my game. Josey's gonna have to help me with my threads and shit.
What I want to know is, Josey, are you going to work on Chris?
Oh man, dude! As much as he'll allow me, I love Chris though. Chris has got his own thing, dude. He's
that's funny, like that you say that, because Chris was the one when we did a photo shoot. He was the one cracking the whip on us. Hey man, you got to get in your stage clothes. Hey man, you got to do this shit. Hey man, you got to do that shit. Come on, man, we're late. Let's go, right? And you wouldn't expect that from Chris. Right?
I know, right?
He was the one cracking the whip and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Well,
Chris is my boy.
Oh man.
And him and Tommy together, seriously, they're like two cartoon characters. Those two together. I call them the Guitar Army.
Oh man, that's good stuff.
Because they both just like woo, and you just go, wow, man, that's fucking cool.
Right?
And they're very comical, the two of them. They're like, I don't know.
Well, Chris has always been totally entertaining, for sure.
Oh, yeah. All right, man. Anything else you want to rap about?
That's it, man. Let's, just have everybody check out you guys and wait for them new music. And, man, it's going to be good, and people are going to love it. And thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thank you for having us, brother.
My pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.